You're watching Two Button Crew. I'm Scott.
And I'm Simeon.
Today we're joined by special guest N64Josh. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing awesome. I'm super glad to be here.
Thank you. It was super simple getting on this call, no technical difficulties whatsoever, and now we're ready to learn all about you. Isn't that right?
Yeah. Hello to all the live viewers. Welcome.
Yes, this is going to be awesome because I hear your name all the time. You're such a prolific Nintendo content creator, and that's what we are too. We create Nintendo content, so it's awesome just to get together with you, maybe learn some of your trade secrets, learn about your crazy collection I've heard of. So yeah, I've been looking forward to this.
Yeah, man, I can't wait. I'm really glad you guys reached out. It's going to be a good time.
Well, let's start with, is it actually true that you own every physical cartridge that Nintendo and third parties have released for Switch?
That is correct for North America.
Awesome.
Wow. I don't have, there's special editions of a few games that I only have maybe the regular version, or I only have the special edition,
Yeah.
So, because people like to split hairs when it comes to that. So you don't technically have every game. You're right. I don't have all three NBA 2K18s. I only have one of them. So.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. How do you do that? And when did you decide to?
Well, there's this thing called the black market, and I found a surgeon that would take out a kidney. And so the first step was getting on the black market eBay and selling that. And then once that went through,
did you buy it now or auction?
I kind of did an auction. I figured that might be it might bring a little more coin that way, so it seemed to work out. Honestly, the lifesaver has been the Best Buy Gamers Club Unlocked, and just being able to save 20% off of purchases. Basically, like Christmas last year, I got a bunch of gift cards and stuff, and that kind of helped complete the set. It's just been a matter of, maybe doing a little extra overtime here and there, that kind of thing. And
right.
I don't know how much longer it's going to keep up, right? Like April's looking like a really full month full of games. And then you've got these companies called limited run games. They're putting out stuff. There's another one, Super Rare Games, but I think they're only in Europe. So I bought a game from them, but I don't think the shipping costs more than the game. And so I don't think I'm going to worry about those ones as far as the Europe ones. The limited run, I got Retro City Rampage through them already. And that's cool. I mean, it's really a cool case. It has multiple sleeves and stuff that you could change it out, and so I just dig it. I have a big collection of starting from the NES and moving forward, and I've always wanted a complete collection. So at least for the time being, I have it. I don't think I'm gonna be able to stick with it. My wife might leave me, so I don't want that to happen.
Yeah, March 3rd would have been a clean breaking point, but you kind of blew past that. So.
I know. I got RBI baseball next Tuesday and Attack on Titan, so I gotta.
Yep.
RBI.
You brought up, working extra overtime, and I was definitely going to ask, you need a day job in order for this to happen, right? So.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Okay, and good. I mean, the thing is, not many of these games are $60. A lot of them come in at like $29, and which then with Best Buy it's like $23. So it's not like, I mean, yes, it is an investment. I'm not trying to say it isn't, but it's just fun for me, And technically, because I make content with all of it, it's all a write-off. So that's nice too.
Ooh, I like that.
Nice too. I have a question for you.
Do you?
I thought I did. Well, we were talking about physical games. On the Switch, you have all of them. Which one was the hardest to get?
The hardest to get? I mean, the thing is, some of these indies that are released, there's one called, I think it's called Soldam, I think is the name of it. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. Huh. But when I went into Best Buy's weird. Sometimes they're like, oh yeah, hang on, we'll order that for you. We'll ship it from another store. And then other times they're like, oh no, we can't help you. You're not going to find it here. And so I'm like, I don't understand. So the Soldam game came from Anchorage, Alaska. That was the closest store to me that had it. And
where are you?
I'm about an hour north of Seattle.
Okay. Hey, we can hang out sometime.
Yeah. So that's where that game came from. Honestly, the hardest game for me to find was Payday 2. My GameStop had
interesting.
one copy. And the closest Best Buy to me was up in Bellingham, which was about 40 minutes, and they had one copy as well. Like, I don't think that game got much for physical releases. Other than that, I mean, I pre-ordered the Retro City Rampage, so I didn't have any issues. What is it called? The name is like Tuhu Kabuto Burst Battle or something.
My favorite.
Yeah, like... That one was a little tricky to find, and Fates Estella was a little tricky to find. But other than that, none of them have been super difficult if I just stay on top of pre-ordering.
So in the case of games like Booby Bootu, is it like painful for you to buy if you're not going to necessarily enjoy playing it?
Well, see, at that point, when I bought that game, I was still trying to review all the games I had picked up, and so I reviewed that game. I gave it like a 5.5. Like, it just wasn't
nice.
It wasn't great. But from my understanding, the guy that made it, they kind of lock him in a room and say, "Here, just go make something and stay away from everyone else." I'm making a joke. He is by a single guy for a company. I don't know if they're hiding him in the closet to make him work on games. I have no idea. But that's kind of the impression I get. So the game had potential if they had just made it anything other than a really crappy third-person fighting game.
Right. Wow. Interesting. Okay. Has there been a physical edition that is your favorite because of what it gets packed in with? Maybe they did an instruction manual or included some other bonuses like that?
The Troll and I? No, I'm just kidding. Probably one of the coolest ones is Xenoblade Chronicles X. That is a massive, massive box, and the book that it came with is really cool. The other one that was pretty awesome is Axiom Verge, and that has like a 4-hour documentary from behind the scenes stuff with the game. So I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I actually got that Axiom Verge one too. It's awesome.
Yeah,
the game, instruction booklet, CD, map, even. I'm definitely going to use that when I get around to playing it. So
yeah, and even playing it because it's amazing.
Okay, yes, sir.
Even the artwork inside looks like the first Super Mario Brothers game. When you open up the case, they redid the art for it. So I thought that was pretty awesome. And probably the coolest thing I think so far is having 2 steelbooks. I have the Mario Kart steelbook and the Xenoblade steelbook. So those are kind of my treasures, I guess.
Nice. Keep it up. So where can people see your collection?
YouTube.com/N64Josh. You'll be able to find videos there. I'm a photographer, and so I've been taking more and more pictures of the collection, and you know, with Kirby coming out yesterday, I set up the Switch and set up the game and did some cool shots with that just for promoting my stream and that kind of thing. So yeah, but my website also, N64Josh.com. You can find some pictures
Very
there.
Nice.
Now, I don't know if you heard about this, but Nintendo put out a video recently with, you know, just some random announcements.
Right.
No, I'm talking about the Nintendo Direct that we just had. What were some of the biggest surprises for you and some of the more exciting moments from that Direct for you?
Oh, man, I've been talking about it so much. The main thing that jumps out is Smash, right? That was the most surprising thing for me. I didn't think that was going to happen, honestly. I didn't think we would see anything that big until E3. And so seeing the continued support for Splatoon and just how much they are putting into that game and keeping that game going for what seems like at least another year.
Right. Yeah, what do you think about the idea that maybe it's going to be Nintendo's booth, like decorated in Smash Bros? Because if that's the case, they probably have to announce it early instead of waiting for E3, because those kind of booth decorations tend to leak and, you know, be seen by the people who are setting it up and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, looking at past, like last year's E3 where we saw an ARMS tournament, we saw Splatoon, I'm pretty certain we're going to see them get a hold of some pro Smash players and get the tournament going there for that as well. And you know, this may be the year that Nintendo really makes a push for more of an esports scene. I mean, they're still supporting ARMS, even though that game didn't do like super well. They're still trying to push the esports scene with that. And I mean, Splatoon has the potential, and they're keeping it alive. So I mean, my community loves Splatoon. Like, we fill up a lobby for Turf War almost immediately. Like everyone in there is just all over Splatoon. So it's really cool to see that, I mean, look, they said at their investors meeting they want to make games as a service, right? Which is a fancy way of saying they're going to make DLC and keep these games alive. But I mean, you got games like Overwatch and things like that go on for season after season. Splatoon has the potential to do the same thing. And if they're just going to say, hey, buy one DLC for a little bit for a decent story, and then we're going to continue giving maps and gear, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. It's a great way of monetizing without throwing in loot boxes. So
have you been to E3 before? Do you tend to make it out there for that, or cover it from home?
I have been. It was a few years ago. The E3 I went to was all about. It was the year of Zelda and Mario Maker. Those were like the two main games on the show floor. Nice. I'm going to actually apply for E3 this year. Last year, the first group I went with was a different podcast I was a part of, and then we disbanded. And I've only been working on this like N64Josh brand for about a year, and so
Really?
when it was just too early last year when I started when I tried to apply, but this year I think I got a good shot. I'd really like to get into PAX because it's only an hour away.
Yes, right. Awesome. Were you at PAX West last year? That's the one you would go to, right?
Yeah, no, I didn't go last year. I went I think it was the year before that. It may have been 2 years before that. It all kind of blurs together. And I had a friend who had a friend that worked for Nintendo that got me a pass for
Nice.
for Monday, which a lot of people are gone by then. It was just kind of a ghost town, but it's still cool to be there and
right.
Get to hang with people.
We might see you there some year because we live in Eastern Washington, so
nice.
We can make that trip.
Very cool.
So, what games have you been playing recently? Kirby just dropped. I'm sure you've been playing that. Yeah. What else have you been playing?
So every Mondays on my Twitch stream, we do Mario Kart Mondays. And
Nice.
I learned that because of the time change, a lot of people got pretty cranky when they played Mario Kart without that extra hour of sleep. So, so we're gonna keep going with that. We're getting new people all the time, and so I love Mario Kart. I'm trying to get that 10,000 VR. That's the goal. So I'm like at 8,200 now. So we're getting there. We're getting close.
10,000 VR. What's that?
Like when you play online, you get points.
Okay.
And so the goal for me, I wanted to hit 10,000 with DX. So we're getting there. We're getting there.
Awesome.
So, but yeah, of course, Kirby just dropped. I think I've just about beat it. It's not a super long game, but I've really, really enjoyed it so far. Played a little bit of Payday 2 just to give that a try. Played some Doom a couple weeks back, some multiplayer. Really enjoy that. Splatoon 2 is always in the Switch. I bought actually that new version of Splatoon 2 yesterday that came out, so that my wife can now play. And her exact words to me when I came down after my stream were, "I want to become savage at this game." I was like,
That's awesome.
I'm terrified right now. This is scary. So she's way into it. She's stolen my pink and my blue Joy-Con so that the downstairs Switch looks like cotton candy, and she's all about it. So
That's awesome. Does she play many games with you, or does it have to be a special one like Splatoon?
So she's a pretty picky gamer. She loves Animal Crossing. She loves the original Zelda, but I can't get her to try any other Zelda. It's only the original one. I'm like, babe, they're all really, really good. She's like, it's not my Zelda. I'm like, fair enough.
What if you told her Breath of the Wild was a remake of the original?
She wouldn't. She doesn't care. I've tried everything.
Right.
So she, but yeah, Animal Crossing. I mean, her and I on the New Leaf, we played a ton of. We've been gaming since we were dating back in the 64 days. So Mario Kart
60s. I thought you were going to say.
Yeah, back in the 60s. Yeah. I'm not quite that old, close, but. But so yeah, she loves playing Mario Kart. Like we'll do Mario Kart 64. We'll fire up the retro systems sometimes and play those. She'll play Mario Kart 8 with me. She doesn't, since I play it so regularly now. She's like, I don't want to play that with you.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. So I mean, and my kids and stuff. Everybody. I mean, at one point we had. All of us had 3DSs, and I got 4 kids, so you'd see, at least 5 of us were playing Animal Crossing at one time. So being able to trade bells or play the mini games and do that kind of stuff. Get the right fruit you needed. I mean, like, we were set right from the beginning with Animal Crossing for all the fruit.
Nice.
So it was kind of nice.
My wife is kind of similar. Her grandma played video games. She played the original Legend of Zelda and Super Mario Kart. And so Super Mario Kart especially is a big one in our house. Like, she'll say, let's play Super Mario Kart, or, let's play some Kirby's Avalanche for SNES. There are certain games that she'll latch onto and ask me to play.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, my wife just came home with this wallet for me the other day.
Wait.
Looks just like the Super Mario Kart cover. So
that is awesome.
So cool.
For the longest time, I had a Super Mario Brothers 2 wallet from my brother, and it just got really nasty and fell apart because it was from like the 80s.
Did you hold it over your head whenever you took it out?
No. Why would I do that?
I don't know.
Oh,
no, because Mario Bros. 2. Come on.
Hold stuff over that. So I checked you out before we did this interview, and I saw on your YouTube channel you have a playlist of video game development videos. Mm-hmm. And I was interested. I was just interested. What is your interest in that? Have you worked on anything that we've seen, or are you planning on working on a game? What's your interest in that?
I mean, so even as a kid, I always wanted to be involved with video games in some way. And then I got married really young, and I had kids really young. And so kind of going to school was kind of out of the question for me. I mean, I was basically working 6 days a week just to take care of my family. And that's fine. That's the path I had chosen. So rewind 5 years from right now, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to get into this online stuff. And so I jumped into, podcasting, all that stuff with photography, and then was like, gaming is my passion. It's always been my passion. Why don't I just do this? And so I set up N64Gaming.com. Don't go to it. The site's full of malware. And started interviewing indie devs. And just kind of, hearing their stories and how they got into it. And it always just intrigued me. But it's a big time investment to get into making games. So now I have a son. My younger son's 15. He's really into like 3D design, that kind of stuff. And he really wants to make a game together. So I sat down a few weeks ago and made just a little like Space Invaders clone in Unity. And literally took me 8 hours to get about a third of the way through it. I have a ship that can move and fire, and I have bases that'll take damage. It was a 1 hour video on YouTube. I spent 8 hours doing it. It's
Nice.
It's tough. It's not easy. I have all kinds of ideas for a story and stuff that I just want to start with, like a 2D like side scroller, kind of like Mega Man Contra style, but nothing yet. There's nothing out there yet. But one day. That's the goal.
Hey,
anyway.
Playable in 8 hours. That is nothing to sneeze at all. Very cool.
It's pretty hokey looking, but you know what? It's still cool to see.
That's okay. When we started the Two Button Crew brand, we started out in video game development.
Probably like 8 years ago?
Something like that. Yeah. About 8 years ago, and our only game that we ever actually released is now unplayable. There's like...
Yeah. We had a novice programmer, and the long story short is he did a custom DRM, which resulted in now we've locked ourselves out of the game and thrown the keys away. So it was really fun, though. Trust me.
It was great. Game. There's a trailer on YouTube if you want to check out Accelerated Delivery. A game about what really happens to the packages that you send out.
Yes. Okay, so Josh, there is potentially indie development in your future, which is awesome, but how about what you're doing right now? It seems like you are really involved in the Nintendo fandom in a lot of different aspects, so how would you summarize all of that?
Oh, yeah. How would I summarize it? I podcast twice a week. I do a podcast called the Nintendo Powercast. A good friend of mine who I met on Xbox Live is my main co-host, and we have a few other people that I've kind of podcasted along the way or just kind of met along the way that are guests every now and again. I got super lucky with the name because I started it. It's a little over a year old. I'm like, hey, Nintendo Power hasn't been around forever. How about I call it the Nintendo Powercast? And well, then in December, Nintendo's like, hey, guess what? We're going to put out the Nintendo Power Podcast. Well, awesome, guys. That's excellent. Guess whose name shows up in the algorithm for the search on iTunes before their name gets registered? That's my name. So
very nice.
My downloads went through the roof. And
Yes.
it was a good and mostly a good thing. Pretty much only a good thing, other than the few bad reviews I got for not being the official show. And like I had anything to do with that. It was almost a year old. And so podcasting, I stream mainly Nintendo games on a regular basis on Twitch, and write articles on N64Josh.com. I have a couple projects in mind that I want to do, kind of just looking at the games that have made us throughout the years. And so between mixing photography and hearing and having people write stories and writing my own story just about maybe just giving people a better understanding of gamers, because so many people say, oh, you're wasting your time. And it's like a lot of times those were our dads saying, oh, you're wasting your time. And it's like, Dad, you just spent 4 hours watching a football game.
Yeah.
Like you were just entertained for 4 hours and I'm being entertained for 4 hours. What's the difference here? And to kind of just let people see that, like, it's not just about like controlling a character on a screen. It's about the memories that I have with my best friends growing up. The memories with my dad playing Double Dribble and Mike Tyson's Punch Out, and how important that stuff was to me. And letting people hear that and see that, So I mean, I've always got something in the works in my head that I'm trying to do. But I just, weekly YouTube videos, podcasts, as much content as possible, and still try to be around for my family. It's a fun balancing act.
So you said photography would be involved in that kind of thing, showing gamers behind the scenes. Yeah,
like. Mainly the main thing I've been shooting right now is just my past collection. Like I reached out to the people in my Discord and I said, hey, what are some of your guys' favorite games? And give me a little short like write-up of why. And so I had somebody like say Crystalis or whatever, or Crystalis, however you say it. And so I set that game up and shot it in a bunch of different ways, and shot Duck Hunt in a bunch of different ways with the orange zapper, because that was Kirby Geek is like one of my, I call her the Oracle for my podcast. She's like the brains of the operation. And so she loved the orange zapper, and we always go back and forth on which one was better and blah blah blah. It's fun banter. And so I shot it with the system and the zapper and the just the Duck Hunt game, not the slash game, just actual Duck Hunt. And so I just want to involve people and make it something that's more than just me, and have a way to kind of get to know people a little bit better. Because like when you start this kind of thing and you put a community together, a lot of people feel like they know you, but it's harder to try to get to know them. So that's kind of part of my goal in this.
I have to run this by you. Simeon had a statement today. Do you remember what you said about the Switch?
I do remember what I said about the Switch.
What did you say?
I said that the Switch is going to be the...
No, you said it is.
Well, it is in the fact that it is and it will be...
Is and will be.
The best console ever made. Okay,
so as a man with Nintendo 64 as his first name, what do you think?
I don't think you're wrong. I don't think you're wrong. Okay. I mean, look, I could fight on the side of nostalgia and say that'll never be the case, but the reality is having a game system that you can play on your TV and then take and play any game handheld, that's something. I've always wanted a handheld with two. I'm a big first-person shooter guy ever since GoldenEye. The 3DS XL with the little nub is close, but
what about the original 3DS with the Control Stick Pro or whatever it was called? Where you
had the Circle Pad Pro? Yeah. Still not great. And So to be able to have this, I mean, look, I walk downstairs after my stream and I see my wife on the couch, even though she has the TV right there with the dock. Nope, she's on the couch, handheld, playing Splatoon. And a game like Splatoon wouldn't even be possible on any past handheld other than maybe the Vita, right? So it's an incredible feat. And I think it's part of the reason it's Nintendo's thinking outside of the box, saying this doesn't have to be just something that's tied to the TV or to be handheld to be amazing. And, it's rocking and rolling. Do we see some of these ports suffering trying to come over this? Yeah, of course. I mean, some like Doom runs pretty smoothly. Like the textures are not the best if you compare them to the other systems, but when games are designed specifically for the Switch, they shine. And so hopefully we see more games like that and less just straight on ports for this thing. And it really does. I mean, I'm not going to say that it's going to outsell the PlayStation 2, but if the economy stays the way it is and people keep just the hype level stays where it is, it's really the potential to be the best selling console of all time.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I don't think we will look back on our childhood and remember those gaming moments fondly for like which ones had the best textures and stuff like that. It's really about fun, I mean, as far as I'm concerned. So it's been really fun in the Switch generation. I see a lot of hype around the system, like you said, and a lot of support from content creators like us. It just seems like there's a new channel and podcast every other day. So it's fun to find those, to talk to people like you, and I just think you're doing awesome work in all the different areas. So you said people can find everything you do from N64Josh.com, right?
Yeah, that's right. There's links to the Discord, to my Twitch stream, YouTube, everything's right there.
And no malware on that website, right?
Nope, it's rocking and rolling.
Good. Very cool. Anything you would like to plug?
I mean, if you just want to check out my podcast, guys, it's on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, Spotify, and Podbean, and it's just the Nintendo Powercast. That's where you'll find it. So, and you can follow me on Twitter, I guess, at N64Josh if that's your thing. So.
Yeah, and it looks like you have a nice setup, good microphone. The podcast is going to sound perfecto, so...
Oh, yeah.
Yes, search it. All right, thank you, Josh. It was really awesome getting to know you better.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it.